Welcome to HCS Connects. I'm Kelly Gorel with Hampton City Schools. Today we have Dr. Sean Callender with us, who is our Director of Secondary School Leadership. So welcome to HCS Connects.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Well, and it is nice for you to be here because this is your very first time on HCS Connects, as you are new to Hampton City Schools this year.
Yes, a little nervous, but it's going to be good.
Well, you know, you are new to Hampton City Schools,
Right.
but you've been here since about mid-August timeframe, so we've had a great chance to already kind of welcome you to the family. So there's no need to be nervous because we know your witty personality.
It's been fun. I've had a great time, yes.
So again, you came on at the middle of August, so
Right.
we really just want to get to know more about Dr. Callender since you're new to our Hampton City Schools family. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I grew up in Cary, North Carolina, just outside of Raleigh. Was very active in the community in sports and things like that. Ended up at East Carolina, where I swam for East Carolina. That's where I met my wife, Leslie. So then from there, you know, to get into education, what I did was I was going through biochemistry. So I was a biology major, emphasis on biochemistry. And my girlfriend at the time, which is now my wife, said that about my junior year would be interested in education. And it coincided with the time I was a catfish farmer.
You are a catfish farmer,
Right.
That's what you just said.
Right. Catfish
Okay.
farmer in the for the summer and for a semester, like in the spring semester when we weren't swimming. I wanted to get some biology experience, so I did that. And I mean, I loved it. It was nice to be around fish and just be out there and do the things. But there was an interesting moment. I think there was two interesting moments. One was one you've already heard about, but we were fixing, a truck came over which was spreading gypsum into the ponds. They were 1 acre ponds.
What is gypsum?
It's like a rock.
Okay.
What it does is harden the bottom, so when you harvest the fish, you're not producing, you don't get stuck in the mud and all this other stuff. So it broke one of the pipes that feeds the acre ponds. So we had to go out there and manually fix it because we didn't have any equipment. So we fixed it. And then we didn't know it, but it came back again and broke it again. So then we had to fix it. And I was just thinking, like, I don't think I want to do this for the rest of my life. So, yeah. So that was interesting. And then there was another time on the farm where you have to clear the land. And so we have these piles of trees. And then somebody decided that they would put gas on it. And I remember running and saying, no, we don't need to do that. And so they lit it and it blew up. And stuff was going everywhere, and I was like, no, I don't need to be doing this anymore. So
I was going to say, I've never known a catfish farmer before, so it's
Right.
very interesting.
Yeah.
So those two situations you just explained, yeah, that's something I hadn't heard of.
Yeah.
But really, okay, still want to know more about you, but this whole catfish farmer thing, like what did you do with the catfish?
So there was a process where we had brood farms, we had brood lakes, I guess,
Okay.
Where the bigger catfish were in these basically 55-gallon pickle jars, but they were plastic. And so we'd harvest the eggs out of there, and they wouldn't like that, so they would try to fight you and stick you with their long, sides. Of catfish have large spines, I guess, out the sides. So we put those in like this place where the water was always going, and you had to work at night. And so one of the things that I did was I worked at night from 11 p.m. to 7. And you would pick the fungus out of the eggs and flip them over and make sure you were just basically, because that's what the catfish did in nature, is they just fan it to keep the oxygen going. So that's what we did. And when the fingerlings were hatched, we would put them in a lake and we would feed them for about a year. Then we would harvest them by taking these big nets around this acre and then putting them into a live truck, take them to the processing plant. And it was kind of cruel, but it worked. We would shock the tank so they would float to the surface, put them on a conveyor belt, and then they would get processed. So.
And that is where you decided to go into education.
Well, that and it was also, I was a plant pathologist for 2 summers at NC State. And I remember I was doing pipettes, which it's a negative flow of air because you have pathogens. And I was just doing pipettes. And with a biology degree, you are going to be a lab tech probably. You have to get your master's or PhD. And I really didn't want to go to school that long, so that coincided with my wife saying, you should take some education classes. So I did. So I graduated with my biology degree, and then I went to get a science education degree, and then I went into the workforce.
But you didn't want to go to school that long, but you do have your doctorate now.
Right, that's,
so that's kind of the ironic thing there.
Yes, and part of that is just, I love to learn. So, and that's part of the great thing here at Hampton, I'm learning so much being new and so forth. So some great people to learn from.
Excellent. So we're glad you went into education. So tell us a little bit about that. Like where and what did you teach, and then how did you get into administration?
So I taught at Reservoir Middle School. I was teaching 7th grade life science. I did that for I think like 6 years. I took the year off, went to William & Mary to get my master's in educational planning, policy, and leadership. And I came back. I worked in York County for a while as a 7th grade science teacher. Became an assistant principal at Grafton Middle School. I did that for 6 years. And then I got an opportunity to come back to Newport News as the science education supervisor.
Okay.
So I did that for 3 years. Then my career kind of bounced. So I became assistant principal of instruction at Minchville. And then I was a principal at Dozier Middle School, principal at Woodside High School, and then principal at Booker T. Washington Middle School, and then now here. And then how I got into education, or how I got into leadership, I was always kind of a leader in my growing up years. You
Okay.
know, I was captain of the swim team for college and also for my club team. And then when I became a teacher, I was the lead. Even though I was the second year, I was the lead teacher, and I was like, okay. So just kind of always been a natural leader and just always liked to learn, so that's why I got my master's. And then felt like I wanted to put my degree to work, and became, you know, assistant principal and so forth. So.
Well, that's a really interesting career path. I mean, like we hear about career switchers,
Right.
you know, that might have been an entrepreneur or somewhere else in the workforce, but not a catfish farmer,
Right.
or for
Plant pathologist for,
plant pathologist.
So I know a lot about plants. So yeah, I was really excited when we went to Phoebus and saw the greenhouse and so forth.
So now here as the director of secondary school leadership, what does that entail? What are your job responsibilities in Hampton City Schools?
Just kind of making sure everything's going smoothly and helping out as a resource for the secondary principals and secondary schools. Part of the big thing is the dual enrollment, which I'm really excited about learning, and then also helping. And that's some of my goals for this year is we have, I think last year, we don't know the statistics for last year, but the year before we had like 483 students go through dual enrollment. And so my charge, or my goal, is to try to get more teachers credentialed for dual enrollment, and then open up the access, because I think that dual enrollment part is great just for every student, not only college-bound students, but any student, to get that rigor.
Right.
So.
And that has been definitely part of the strategic plan for Hampton City Schools since 2015. And I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but I know from 2015 to 2022, not counting last year's graduating class, we have over 25,000 dual enrollment credits earned by our students, which really is a huge savings to parents and the students if they want to go on and pursue their college degree.
Yeah, we recently had a dual enrollment, I guess, family night, for lack of a better term, to try to encourage students to get into that. And I think the savings was, I believe it's like $5,000 that we pay, so it's free to the students, but they ended up saving on the other end like close to $60,000. So.
Oh, I believe it. My oldest is in college now, and I know how expensive that is every year. So yeah, I would have loved him to have earned his associate's degree. I know that not all of our students earn an associate's degree. We've got an academy around that. But a lot of our students are still able to take dual enrollment classes correct at all the 4 high schools, regardless if they're at Phoebus as part of that ACE Academy.
Right, and you can also get a certificate, so you can go out and join the workforce with a certificate right away.
What an opportunity for young people.
Right.
So that is exciting that you're here and kind of diving into that and really working alongside the teachers and the administrators.
Right, yes.
So again, coming on to Hampton City Schools, a new role, but you've got a lot of experience in administration, especially at the secondary level. How many years do you have in education at this point?
This is, I think, my 29th officially, because I took a year off. So might be 30 as of January 1st, I think.
All
so,
right.
Yeah.
And so think back over your 30 years and, you know, looking at, you were a biology major, and what is one moment that really stands out for you, do you think? I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, one moment that stands out. I don't know that I can define one moment. I think the whole purpose is just service and trying to make people's lives better. I've hoped I've touched a lot of kids over the years, and a lot of adults over the years. Had the opportunity to go back to my old school to pick something up, and it was kind of it was nice for the ego to hear some of the things that they were saying about me. And had students over the years come over, even in Hampton. I have students that I've apparently either have taught or been a principal of, that just have embraced me and said it was great to have them, or me there, I guess, and influence their lives. So it's been nice.
That is nice. That's very nice. So what does Dr. Sean Callender do just to get away from the workforce and relax, get your mind off of a stressful day?
Well, I love to read. I garden a lot.
Go figure.
But then, right. And then I work out. In fact, I brought Dr. C some hot jalapeno peppers, not jalapenos, habanero peppers this morning. So I cook, exercise a lot. So.
Do you still swim?
I still swim. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Typically, I swim about 4,000 yards. So.
Well, that's impressive too.
Went to a swim meet at William & Mary. I think it was in March. So yeah.
Oh, very cool. Well, as we wrap up, is there anything else that you would like to share with the listening audience?
No, just really excited to be here and learn from the great people that are here, and just hopefully, work to contribute to Hampton City Schools.
Well, we're excited for you to be here, and even in the few short months that you've been here, you've already contributed. So we're looking forward to seeing where that's going to lead for the rest of the year and beyond. Because even though you've got 29 years, we're hoping that you're going to be around for a little bit longer.
I will be. I told Ms. Pollard, I was like, you got me for 5 more years at least. And if I like it, I'll keep going. So.
There you go.
And I love it, so it's great.
Well, Hampton's a pretty good place to be.
It is.
Well, thank you for being here, and thank you for sharing a little bit more about yourself, and welcome to the Hampton City Schools family.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on HCS Connects. Remember, it's easy to stay connected.